Hello everyone and welcome to a really incredible fight from the penultimate round of yesterday's official random tournament, or chess 9LX, or chess 960, and it's Caruana versus Kasparov. I mentioned in the previous video that Kasparov is already 61 years old. First day goes great for him, second day goes great for him, but already on the third day it can go, either way. That's already, 9 games being played. And on the third day he faced Levon, Fabi, and Sam Sevian. He lost to Levon in round 7, and this is now round 8. So let's see how the game went. It's really a wonderful game. And Fabi opens with pawn to e4. Not that it matters, as everything is scrambled. Someone asked in the previous video, and not asked, wrote that the pawns are also scrambled. You just didn't notice it, so I thought that was funny. But yeah, pawn to c5. We have some sort of a chess 960 Sicilian. Knight gf3, knight g2 f6, and pawn to c3. Here, Fabi defends the e4 pawn. Pawn to b6, preparing to also flank to the bishop, maybe even the queen, and bishop to e2. We have bishop to b7. Pawn to e5, as the pawn on e4 was now attacked, and okay, maybe you could play something like bishop to d4, could be annoying, but you simply kick away the bishop, so it's not really anything. We have knight to d5, pawn to d4, and c captures, like you would have in a standard advanced Sicilian, e6, and now knight to d3. We have bishop to e7, bishop to d2, and pawn to f5 by Kasparov, asking Fabi, are you maybe interested in a nice en passant? But Fabi prefers to keep control over the d6 and f6 squares. We have pawn to h4, signaling that he might be interested in h5, h6, or maybe some rook h3, rook to g3 action, depending on how Kasparov plays. Knight e back to c7. And now pawn to h5. We have queen to d8, stopping anything from coming to that g5 square. And Fabi further advances the h-pawn, pawn to h6. Rook to h3 was probably more precise, but he's using less time than Garry, and he wants to make it worth. And the Kasparov spends another 3 minutes in this position and executes pawn to g5, which is the top move in the position, and objectively he is much better now. He has a really strong center here. He has the possibility of advancement on the king side, and he's actually very safe, even though it looks like his king is maybe a bit open, but it's actually Fabi's king who's that's open. We have queen to d1, getting ready to get the rook into the game, and castles king side. This is how you castle in official random. We have rook to c1, and now king to h8. We have rook to h5, and pawn to g4. The knight is attacked. We have knight f to e1, and rook to c8. So now the queen can move. The rook nicely defends the knight on c7. We have knight to c2, and now queen to e8. Kasparov playing all the top moves. He is now objectively very, very close to a winning position. We have rook back to h2 by Fabiano, and queen to g6. Kasparov is relentless in his attack, and the only thing Fabi has going for him is more time on the clock. And of course he doesn't want to see g3 from Kasparov, so he strikes with pawn to g3 himself, but this opens up this beautiful light square bishop on b7 even more, and presents a target for this f4 pawn push. And indeed, had Kasparov found pawn to f4, this would be the end of the game, most likely. But he didn't. He prepared it first with bishop to g5, which is also a great move, but I will show you the difference. If you strike with pawn to f4 right away, okay, you either start capturing or f captures on g3. It's better to capture, or maybe play king to g1. But okay, let's see some trades. Knight captures, bishop captures on f4, and now rook captures on f4. That's the idea. And now after g captures, g3. You attack the rook, and after f captures on g3, queen captures, and the rook is hanging. So how do you defend? You have to play rook to f2, and now comes bishop to h4, and there is no way to defend here. With the queen bishop and the light square bishop controlling all of the squares here, there's just no good defensive move. You could try running, but it doesn't really do anything. The rook will fall. You can even capture here and then capture the rook, because the king will be pinned. And of course, if you try to defend, then it's a very, very simple checkmate. King g1 and queen to h1 checkmate. So something along those lines. But after bishop to g5, it's somewhat easier for Fabi to defend, because he does have the the resources needed to stop the advancement. He trades immediately, bishop captures, queen captures, and now king to e1. Kasparov does strike with pawn to f4, but now Fabi plays queen to d2. He says, all right, you can capture, you can push, but the queen is hanging on g5. So queen to g6, Kasparov moves the queen out of the way, and now g captures on f4. Kasparov does strike with pawn to g3, which is very nice. You could also maybe prepare it with knight e7, knight to f5, but he's already down to 3 minutes on the clock. Pawn to g3, rook to g2, and now, okay, you could definitely capture. It comes with check. Kasparov captures on h6. We have rook captures on g3, and now knight captures on f4. And again, Kasparov position is beautiful here. Knight captures, rook captures on f4, and now knight to e3. It looks like a move you don't really want to play because the rook cannot move as the queen on h6 would be hanging. But after knight to e3, Fabi actually set a very interesting trap for Kasparov. And the key move for Kasparov here to find is bishop to c6. If you find bishop to c6, I don't think there's anything for Fabi to try anymore. It would just be, you know, Kasparov all the way. But Kasparov played queen to h2 first, and after bishop to d3, defending the f2 pawn twice, again, you have to play bishop to c6 is the only move to keep playing for the win for Kasparov, but he played rook c to f8. He tripled up on that f2 pawn, and now, unfortunately for Kasparov, it is Fabi who is completely winning. So feel free to pause the video and win the game for Fabi while I give you a couple of seconds. So, for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on always listen to wise old Ivanchuk. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is knight to f1. And all of a sudden, yes, this knight is hanging. Obviously, yeah, if you're wondering, yeah, if you don't do that, if you capture, for example, on c7, then rook captures, and that's it. You resign. There's no way to play this. There's too much here. I mean, you move the queen captures on g3, and you get destroyed very quickly. Both of the rooks are attacking f1. You're getting checkmated here. So Fabi played this beautiful knight to f1 move, and now how can Kasparov continue this? He could capture on f2, that is true, and after, let's say, captures and captures, the problem is now the knight on c7 really is hanging. Rook captures on c7, and Kasparov is just down a piece. There's no way to do anything. The knight is defended by the bishop, and there's no way to put any pressure. So Kasparov tried queen to h4, but now Fabi just takes the free knight. Rook captures on c7, rook captures on f2, hoping for queen captures on f2, even though that would also still be slightly better for Fabi. Fabi plays the absolute best move, queen to g5, and he was in this position on move 31 that Garry Kasparov resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. Queen g7 will be checkmate. The only way to defend is to trade queens, and once you trade queens, of course, you are down. You're down a full piece, and there's nothing. You could trap the rook maybe a little bit, but I mean, you can easily blast through like d5. If bishop captures, you capture this pawn. If this pawn, you push this pawn. If this pawn, you deliver rook h7 checkmate or something like that. As, of course, you did not forget about our good friend, the light square bishop on d3. So yeah, it was a good game as usual. Kasparov on the attack, Kasparov really pushing, and Kasparov on the verge of victory, but then a move like knight to f1 is enough to take down a former world champion, the beast with 1,000 eyes. Yeah, you can never be too careful. A move with the knight back is so powerful that, world champions crumble before it. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Here are the standings of the tournament. Fabiano Caruana wins first place with 7.5 points. So, he's winning tournaments back to back as he just won the US Chess Champion title. Hikaru, half a point behind, 7 points. Then Wesley with 5.5. And then we have a three-way tie. Levon Aranyan, Sam Seven, and Garry Kasparov with 4.5. So Kasparov, the legend, finishes on 50%. Not terrible at 61. And in this competition, Oparin 3.5, Shankland 3, Dominguez 2.5, and Ray Robson also 2.5. That's the game. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed it. I would like to thank for my uncle's chess lesson, Carlos Rudy, Escalator Junkie, Richard Lapka, and Stephen Bennett for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.